Hey everyone, it's Kyle Bartlett, and welcome to Bartlett Reviews. Today's review is Spider-Man No Way Home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Oh my god, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life! Spoiler Man, does whatever a spoiler can. So it starts off after the events of Spider-Man Far From Home. Mysterio revealed Spider-Man's secret identity to the world! Oh my god! And then Spider-Man's on the run with MJ, he played by Zendaya. And then we see Happy Hogan and Aunt May. Although that's pretty inconvenient if you ask me. Spider-Man was blamed for Mysterio's murder, even though Spider-Man committed a murder he did not commit. Even though Mysterio was a villain of the second movie, so that doesn't matter right now. So the worst part is that Peter, MJ, and Ned didn't get to college because they were friends of Spider-Man. Also, a complete surprise, Daredevil made an appearance! Daredevil! Although it's pretty obvious that Daredevil and the rest of the Defenders are part of the MCU. Anywho, so Spider-Man went to Doctor Strange and wants everyone to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but then it made some side effects. And then on the bridge, we see the appearance of Dr. Octopus! That's played by Alfred Molina, the original Spider-Man actor from Spider-Man 2. They were fighting, and like there's no tomorrow. Boom, 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 explosions, fight scenes. He's Spider-Man versus Dr. Octopus. But then Dr. Octopus realized it's not the Spider-Man, You're not Peter Parker. I'm so confused right now. And then someone else finally showed up. It's the Green Goblin, played by Willem Dafoe. And after Green Goblin started to fight Spider-Man was transported to Doctor Strange. But then the Lizard made an appearance. The Lizard from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Although I don't know the actor name, but it's still the Lizard. Anyway, after that, Peter decided to get some help from Ned and MJ to find some more villains. And then, during the way, Spider-Man met Electro, played by Jamie Foxx. And then he was helped by Sandman from Spider-Man 3. After the battle, he teleported straight to the Sanctum Sanctorum. And Electro finally recognizes Kurt Connors. As you recall, Kurt Connors was Max's employer. Although, to be fair, both Max and Connors worked for Oscorp in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. After that, Spider-Man finally meets the Green Goblin, also known as Norman Osborn. We finally get a mention of Oscorp and Harry Osborn. And after that, Doctor Strange finally told Peter that they were all gonna die, although the villains told them first. But then, it was their fate, and then Spider-Man decided to fight Doctor Strange! Kaboom, boom, boom, boom! Into the mirror dimension! And right in New York City, and then Peter won! And then Peter decided to take the villains back to Happy's apartment so that he can cure them. And then Dr. Octopus was finally cured, and then gave Peter back the nanotech that he stole before. And then finally, the Green Goblin takes over Norman Osborn's mind, and then fights Spider-Man. And the rest of the villains finally escaped. And then Spider-Man and Green Goblin were battling each other out. Boom, 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 boom. And then the really saddest scene happened. Aunt May dies! Uncle Ben in kind of way. But then she gave this really inspired speech to Peter Parker. With great power comes great responsibility. Very Uncle Ben-like. And then we finally see the appearance of the two Spider-Men! Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, they finally made an appearance in the movie! And FYI, the Spider-Man movies are now canon in the MCU. Just a friendly reminder. And then they reminded Peter how much they had their rage and revenge for the people who stole from them. We finally get a mention of Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy from both Tobey and Andrew. And then the three Spider-Man team up to create cures for the rest of the villains. And Electro, Sandman, Lizard, and Green Goblin. Even though Little Tom Spider-Man wants to get revenge on Green Goblin. To be fair, Green Goblin is Spider-Man's arch nemesis. And then the final battle begins on the Statue of Liberty with Captain America's shield. Electro shows up and starts fighting Spider-Man. Boom, boom, boom. Zap, 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 zap. And then Mr. Souljob and is all Sandman and shows up as well. So fight with the villains. It's like, where's the box, Peter? We're trying to help you. I don't care. And the rest of the villains were fighting against the Spider-Man. But then the Spider-Man don't know how to work as a team, except Tom. Because he's part of the Avengers, even though the Avengers don't exist in Tobey and Andrew's universes. And so far, the battle begins with 3 Spider-Man. And then finally, Doctor Strange finally comes back, and then Peter finally cures both Dylan, Marco, and Connors. But then the Green Goblin finally shows up and destroys the box. Oh, across the cracks are the villains from every universe. Although, to be fair, we should have Miles Morales in the movie, but it doesn't matter right now. So the final battle between Tom, Peter, and Green Goblin. Boom, 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 flash, 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 rah! And so Tom was about to finish Green Goblin up, but then Tobey stops him. And so far, Tobey was stabbed in the back by Green Goblin. Stab! Ah! My back! And then finally, Green Goblin was cured. No more Green Goblin. And Doctor Strange finally found. And Tom finally found a way how to save everyone by making everyone forget Peter Parker existed. That's a sad way to end this. That's a sad way to make everyone forget who you are. And so far, everyone doesn't know who Peter Parker is anymore. Spider-Man is still a mystery again. And the weirdest part is that it is all Tobey Maguire stuff again. And even though that MJ and Ned don't know who Peter is Peter just leaves them so then they can be safe. And so far we have a new homemade suit like in the comics. And then that was the beginning of the next trilogy for Spider-Man on his own. But don't worry, fans. I'm sure MJ and Ned will finally remember Peter. I hope we also get Michael Shannon as Green Goblin again. And the rest of the Sinister Six. And Ned's journey to become the Green Goblin. And so far, we got a cameo appearance of Tom Hardy's Venom. What? It was only in there for like a few minutes before he transported back to his universe. But so far, there was a piece of symbiote that is on his way to find Spider-Man. And that was my review of Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm Kyle Bartlett. I remember it so you don't have to.